So in this video, we are going to look at the subsidiary journals, and we are going to look at subsidiary journals that relates to debtors when you are making use of the perpetual inventory system and you have a markup on cost. And in this first video, I'm just going to show you how to deal with the question itself in your reading time before you attempt to answer anything. So let's read it. It says you are the bookkeeper of Gretzky Industrial. The business is a registered VAT vendor and trades only with registered VAT vendors. The business charges 15% VAT on all its sales. All amounts means all the amounts that you are given below are inclusive of VAT unless VAT is not applicable. As the bookkeeper, you have been provided with only the source documents for the month of March 2020 necessary for the preparation of the journals specified below. In fact, you're not sitting with the source documents. They have given it to you in a table format. Tells you the business uses the perpetual inventory system. That is why I put it on top there. And unless otherwise stipulated, marks all their goods up at 55% on cost. So they will take an article that say is 100 Rand, 55% of 100 is 55 Rand, and then they will sell that article for 155 Rand. That's what it means when they say that the goods are marked up at 55% on cost before any trade discounts. And then they say to you that CINV, DCR, DS, DR, JV, and PCV are the source document codes for duplicate invoices. So CINV, when you see CINV anywhere before a source document number, you know that that is a duplicate invoice. If you see DCR, you know you are looking at a duplicate credit note. If you say CDS, it's a duplicate cash slip. If you see DR, it's duplicate receipt. If you see JV, it's journal vouchers. And if you see PCV, it's petty cash vouchers. So now you know that. And then here at the bottom, they tell you exactly what you are supposed to do. They say you must use the transactions to complete the following. The first thing that you must complete here is a debtors ledger. Let's mark that debtors ledger question in green. And it says with analysis columns, for it gives you the analysis columns, and you are supposed to complete this. You are supposed to mark clearly how the different amounts or totals will be posted to the general ledger at month end. So now for the debtors journal, we are going to identify all those transactions that must be recorded in the debtors journal. And which will those be? All those where we see that there is a duplicate invoice that was generated. So let's go and look at all of those. So we just go down the source document row here, and rather column, and when I get here to the second, I see that O Clark was buying some of our inventory. So I mark that one. That is CINV 479. Next one here, and they follow. So just mark that way. Is CINV 480. Here's the next one. CINV 481. And here's the last one. CINV 482. Then you can stop. You'll see that's the only one. So what do we know now? I know that I am looking for 4 transactions in my debtors journal. So it doesn't matter if they give me 10 or 20 lines. That's besides the point. I know that there's going to be 4 entries in my debtors journal. Okay, now let's look at the next thing that's required. They say We are also going to record transactions in our debtors allowance journal. So let's have a look at that. And let's make this one light blue like that. You will use whatever color highlighter you have. In this case, we are looking for all the source documents where we are sitting with a duplicate credit note, and we can identify that by the letters DCR. So let's have a look here. There's DR. Aha, here's the first one, DCR. Go on. That's 245. So now we're looking for 246. Here it is. Okay. The DRCR. Here's another one. DCR. And I go down. I see. Okay. There is no other entry. So it seems as if we are only going to have 3 entries in our debtors allowance journal. They will give you 20 lines. It doesn't matter. You are only going to have the 3 entries then. Then, of course, you are going to total it, so you will use a bit more than the 3 lines. Next thing you have to do is you need to complete the cash book receipts journal. So for the cash book receipts journal, we can expect we're going to use 2 source documents for this one, but let's just pick a color first. This orange seems fine. And now we are going to identify all the source documents that relate to our cash book receipts. And here we will have 2. You will either have the duplicate cash slip, or you will have a duplicate receipt. Duplicate cash slip, if it was recorded by the cash register, the duplicate receipt if it was recorded by hand. So either DS or DR will go into our cash book receipt. So here we have a DR. Okay, so we highlight that in orange. Here we have a DS. We can highlight that in orange. Here we have another DS that we highlight. Here's another one, DS. Another one here, DS. Here's a DR. Here is a DS. Here's another DR. These are all journal vouchers, so we don't need to worry about them. Okay, let's count them and see how many entries we expect to have in our cash book receipts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are expecting 8 entries in our cash book receipt journal. Okay, next thing we are looking for is the petty cash journal. Okay, so we need to complete the petty cash journal, and why don't we work with a pink highlighter there? And the petty cash journal are all those entries where we will expect to find a petty cash voucher that is marked or identifiable with a PCV. So let's have a look there. Here's the first one. Okay. PCV. Here's the second one. PCV. Here's a third one. PCV. And you're not worrying about the details that now you're only identifying the transactions. Here's the fourth one. BCV, and all these last ones we can expect to be journal vouchers, and they are. So now let's count them. I already did. I know there's 4, but in case you missed it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to have 4 entries in our petty cash journal. Then the last journal will be our general journal. Let's pick another color for that one that we haven't used yet. Maybe a golden color like that, or call it a yellow. Looks a bit gold to me. Okay, and in this case, in our general journal, we are going to use journal vouchers. So every time we see JV, we are going to use it, and then we hope that we actually chose all of them, because if we didn't, then we need to go back and we need to see what we missed. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 transactions that I will record in my general journal. Okay, so let's do that. Good. And then the last thing we will have to do is we'll have to open, post, and balance the two ledger accounts, but we're not going to worry about that now. We are going to start by doing each one of these questions. And that is what you do even before you start with any question. And if you do that well, then the rest of the question will actually be a lot easier. Thank you.